Hi everyone, and welcome to another marvelous video. There's no denying that Batman has the largest fan base among superheroes, and his comics have always been great sellouts. Although there have been debates and discussions over how difficult it is to write Batman stories, there are many with astounding plot twists and thrills, which are no ordinary work. The same goes for the recent work of writer Dan Jurgens and artist Mike Perkins in The Batman First Night. It's an ongoing series with issues 1 and 2 already released, and we get a glimpse of the initial days of Batman. The plot is set in the year 1939, when the world had just survived the First World War, but terror persists in the name of uncontrolled crime and corrupt world leaders. With all that said, let's dive into today's video and unwind the story of The Batman First Night. But before we go into our explanation, we have a very small request. If you like our content, please support us by subscribing to our channel. This is a small click for you, but for us, it means a lot. Thank you. Let's begin. The Batman First Night. Gotham City on the brink of collapse. Recovering from the terrors of World War I, the entire world faces a tremendous crisis in maintaining order, and it's no different for Gotham. Fascist powers have begun growing in the darkest corners of America and Gotham. Amidst the crisis, the city has been facing brutal murders of council members. There have been rumors about a creature resembling a bat that has been haunting the city in the dark. The Batman First Night Issue 1 opens with a brutal murder scene where the victim has been decapitated. Commissioner Gordon makes his entry while being surrounded by the press, questioning the efficiency of the Gotham Police Department. The bartender states that a couple of massive brutes stormed in, killed the victim, and left. While the body was on the floor, the head was left on the table, which Gordon confirmed to be the city councilman, Vincent Hodges. As the investigation continued, a beautiful lady entered the scene to contribute some information about the matter. She was one of the girls working for the pimp Maxie Cross. She usually spent time with Vincent on Friday evenings. She was there when the murder took place, but her statement was quite similar to that of the bartender. Commissioner Gordon left the scene for his car while the reporters kept bombarding him with questions and allegations. Luckily, a charming man arrived and offered Commissioner Gordon a lift to get rid of the questioning and chaos. The man was none other than Bruce Wayne. Gordon was a friend of Bruce's father, and since the day of his death, he had stayed in touch with Bruce out of care and concern. Along the drive, Bruce and Gordon discuss more on the ongoing conditions of the city, and as it slowly drifts to the new vigilante in the form of a bat operating in the dark. Bruce states that it would surely be one of Gordon's officers in a costume trying to fight crime in a way not possible within the limits of the uniform. After dropping off Gordon, as Bruce left, the officers could be seen frowning at Bruce, considering him a rich brat thriving on his father's enormous wealth. Mike Perkins beautifully showcased Bruce returning to his manor and putting on his Batman costume, while Gordon spoke about his tragic life to one of his enthusiastic officers. The next target, Gotham City Mayor Mr. Du Bois. As Commissioner Gordon reported to Mr. Du Bois via a call about the investigation regarding Vincent's murder, the latter stated that if Gordon could not handle it on his own, he would find other ways. It was late at night, and when the doorbell rang at the mayor's house, Gordon could no longer be silent and warned him not to open the door. Leaving Gordon waiting on the phone, Du Bois rushed to ask his butler to not entertain any guest. Soon there was a loud sound. The mayor's butler was lying dead on the floor while two massive brutes stood with daggers at the door. They had come to kill Du Bois and soon got their hands on him. However, it wasn't going to be that easy as Batman arrived on the scene. Taking the fight to the two brutes, he gave Du Bois a window to escape. The two brutes were strong, and it eventually became difficult for Batman to continue trading blows. Du Bois ran as hard as he could and locked himself into a room with his wife, Millie, while Batman lured the two thugs to the terrace. Although Batman showed promise initially, he was brutally beaten, stabbed, and thrown into one of the dark alleys. Fortunately, a kind man, Rabbi Jacob Cohen, stepped out to help him. He took Batman to his apartment and gave him water. Jacob was a nice man, and his words of wisdom made Batman believe in himself. Assembling clues. In the last confrontation between Batman and the grotesque brutes, the former had managed to acquire one of their daggers. Batman extracted the fingerprint on it, but needed help to match it. He soon made a visit to Commissioner Gordon. There was an execution scheduled for the night at Blackgate Penitentiary, and as Gordon was getting an update from the prison, Batman sneaked into his apartment. After convincing him to find a match for the fingerprints, Batman left and visited Maxie's brothel next. One of the customers was ill-treating his girl, girl, Tilly, and Maxie stormed in to throw him out. Soon, there was Batman waiting for him. He asked him about the beasts terrorizing the town and if he had any clue about them. Maxie wasn't keen on sharing much info, but Tilly arrived after listening to their conversation. She stated that one of her clients, who worked for a man named Johnny the Whip, frequently spoke about his strange job. The client said that Whip had strong super soldiers doing his dirty work, and everything was going easy. The soldiers could not be killed because they were already dead. Batman left the scene, and as he spoke to Gordon and asked him about the fingerprint, the latter stated that it belonged to a person who was executed at Blackgate Prison. Execution at Blackgate Penitentiary. The plot slowly began dipping towards Blackgate Penitentiary. The resurrected dead beings were the ones executed at the prison, and it could very well be the epicenter of all the growing chaos. Inside Blackgate, Warden Garrison Shelby and his officers could be seen strapping the convict into an electric chair. They all left the room, and Shelby asked Captain DeBesso to electrocute the convict. As the captain was about to flip the switch, Blackgate faced a power cut. However, it wasn't a normal one, as Batman was the one behind it. He sneaked into the execution and freed the prisoner, who kept boasting about his luck, calling it a divine intervention. The prisoner escaped, but Batman was caught by the guards and Shelby. He was brutally beaten and then tied to the chair for execution. Restraining Batman onto the chair, Shelby began electrocuting him. Batman screamed in pain as everyone watched him resist his death until Gordon arrived and stopped Shelby. The two argued about their decision, and Batman, taking advantage of the distraction, freed himself and escaped. Everyone was shocked at how Batman survived the high-voltage electric jolts. It was because of the power cut, and the circuits took time before delivering the high-voltage currents. After knocking down 2 guards, Batman escaped from Blackgate using Gordon's car. The arrival of Johnny the Whip. Following the incident at Blackgate Penitentiary, Gordon issued a complaint against Shelby, while a wounded Batman took some time to recover at his manor. He also managed to return Gordon's car outside the police department without leaving a clue. Meanwhile, the mayor was being interviewed at the radio station, and as he left to return home, the undead brutes launched an attack on him at the bridge. Soon, an aircraft began hovering over the mayor's car and began firing. It was Johnny the Whip, along with 2 undead soldiers. As the craft moved near the bridge, Batman arrived and jumped on it, kicking the 2 brutes and stopping Johnny. The aircraft crashed, and Johnny took his handgun and opened fire at the police immediately. A few of them died until Batman's batarangs hit him in the face. The brutes surrounded and began beating him again until Johnny got back on his feet with a handgun. He fired at Batman, leaving him no option but to jump into the river underneath. Fortunately, the mayor's car managed to escape. Batman next made a visit to Jacob and revealed his identity. He showcased his trust in him and confided in him his trauma since the day his parents were murdered. Batman had made a brief visit to Tilly to know more about the resurrected dead beings and what the plan of Johnny the Whip was. He asked her if the client had ever spoken about what his boss was aiming for, and she stated that it was that the do-gooders of the city needed to go. It included the city council, Gordon, and the mayor. Batman believed Gordon's life was in danger and left immediately to the rescue. Meanwhile, Gordon went on to check on the mayor's security outside his mansion. As he walked on the streets, the mysterious voice spoke to him, and it was none other than Johnny the Whip. Soon, 2 brutes charged at him. Gordon shot one of them, but the second one got a grip on his neck and began choking him. However, Batman arrived right on time to deliver a perfect blow on the brute's face with knuckle dusters and freed Gordon. More brutes arrived to fight Batman, while Johnny began killing the guards outside the mayor's mansion. After knocking down the last of the brutes, Batman realized that Johnny had placed his gun on his neck, just about to pull the trigger. Batman was stunned for a moment, but luckily, Gordon shot down Johnny, saving Batman. In the final pages of the second issue, Gordon advises Batman to carry a gun, something which Batman despises. The issue ends with Batman checking out a few handguns in his mansion. Marvelous verdict. So we finally come to the end of the video, and we hope you liked the story. The 3rd issue has been scheduled for May 21st, 2024, and we're more than thrilled to follow up on the story. Issue 2 ends with a very intriguing scenario. Batman checking his handguns leaves us with the question, will Batman use a gun? Thanks for watching the video till the end, and feel free to add your views in the comments section. And don't forget to stay tuned for the next Marvelous video. And if you liked our content, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to us if you haven't already. Have a good one and be safe. Thanks, everyone.